We're here now.
We
fucking made it, dude.
We're in.
We figured out technology and we beat its ass. We fucking kicked its ass. I'm so proud of myself for figuring that out. All right. You got a quote for us? Mr. Michael O'Hare? Welcome to the podcast. You don't have a quote for us?
No, not actually yet.
Not prepared. Yeah. That's all right.
Yeah, it's I didn't do my homework. It's just like high school.
It's like high school all over again, but that's all right. We made it through, just like we made it through high school.
That's questionable. We lost some good people along the way.
Along the way, we might have, but we made it. That's the most important part. You know, you can't win for everybody else. But let's look on. I'll find a quote for us.
I'm feeling something by Winston Churchill. I think that's
Winston Churchill.
Good place to begin.
Well, we'll just see what comes up. Going to a subreddit called Get Motivated. Have you found it?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Search. Go to top of all time. See what shows up.
All time. Never underestimate the power of small good deeds, because it's always matters. Well, apart from that typo.
I don't know if I feel any more motivated than I did before we read that. So.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. We got one from Louis C.K.
Here we go.
No, this is gonna be too difficult. All right. Anyways, should we get into it?
Yeah. Where do we begin?
I don't know. I don't know if I should keep this in, because I've had trouble in the past where like I don't speak enough into the mic because I like lean back sometimes. Like
yeah,
I'm over here.
Maybe
I'm
just
over
keep
here.
It,
but like if you just you keep this bacteria looking thing in your face, you know.
It screams more virus to me, but
bacteria virus, you know.
We
Jimmy Neutron, whatever. So explain the bottle of water to me. Why not just carry around a water bottle? So Michael's one of those guys that carries around a gallon of water for those of you who can't see, because none of you can see because it's not recorded like that.
Put it this way, Daniel's one of those people that has a serious problem with people that carry around a gallon of water.
I do.
You see it all the time.
I do.
Professional athletes?
Not sure about that.
Athletes in general, you know. What I would say to you, Daniel, is that I'm an athlete.
Yeah. Is that where you were chugging a beer down at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday? It is Tuesday, right? I don't even know what day it is.
Yeah,
It doesn't really matter.
I mean, I'm the guy drinking beer at 1 in the afternoon, so don't.
It's not the right person to ask, is it?
Yeah, don't ask me.
Yeah. Anyways, since Michael's not prepared.
What in the goddamn F was I supposed to be prepared for anyway?
So
quality content.
What should we get into? We want to talk about current events at some point.
I want to talk about LeBron James.
We could start with that. That would be part of current events.
I like to see.
He had another game of his life.
He had the game of his life. Kyrie Irving.
Yeah,
finally
he really
answered the haters. You know.
Yeah. No, he really. Well, he's been playing well all series.
Well-ish, but he went off. You know, he acted like the star he was before his knee injury.
Yeah, he went to the next level on last night. Both scored 41, right?
Yeah, and let's talk about.
Kevin.
So there's the highs and the lows. One of those lows is K-Love.
Yeah, unfortunately,
we're not too, frankly,
not impressed.
Loved him on the Timberwolves. Really thought he had potential.
Yeah.
It seems he's wasted it.
But that's all right, because the Cavs have other supporting players that are much better, I would say, that have contributed a lot more than Kevin Love has.
Yeah, like Timothy Mozgov.
Yeah. No. J.R. Smith. Richard Jefferson. all contributed well.
Just thought of something though. Going back to LeBron James, he was 4 for 6 from 3 last night.
Yeah.
When was the last time LeBron shot threes well?
Well, he only took 6 of them. I would say during a regular.
Solid percentage, my friend.
Yeah, but sometimes those numbers can be skewed. But I think the real story is that how many points did Steph Curry have?
No more than 25. No,
he's not really showing up.
They were 3 for 20 from 3 at one point. I don't know if they improved that.
They scored 35 points in the second half. Yeah. What is that?
That's not.
You're not going to win it. That's not the Golden State offense we know. We've come to know and love.
Where are the Warriors?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think this series might be more interesting than people might think.
Well, I mean,
think the next 2 games.
LeBron, I was reading some statistic. LeBron has the highest points per game in the playoffs when he's facing elimination.
Yeah, 30. So, was it like 32.8 or something?
Not only that, but then Draymond Green has to go up to the best player in the team and hit him in the balls, like as if he needed any more motivation.
Well, that's another story. Let's
look at purple shirt guy.
Who knows what happened?
Let's look at purple shirt guy making Dwayne Wade go off against Toronto. You know, you don't need to give the best player on the court in each series any more motivation.
That's an interesting competitive attitude that some players have. Is that like when you talk shit to them, they, in a way, they tune it out and they play even better. You know, first you might see like, think about Reggie Miller in the 90s.
He will
if you talk shit to him, he's gonna play better.
Well, he also plays better when he's shit talking you back.
Yeah, and it's like that's a mark of a great player.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's what sets apart, like, you know, Michael Jordan from everybody else. That's what sets apart Reggie Miller, LeBron James, all the great players from
Larry Bird.
Yeah.
So there's so many stories on the internet.
Oh, I don't even want to know what went out, what he heard, what he said.
I'll tell one quick story. I think it was Muggsy Bogues was guarding him at one point, he ended up guarding Muggsy Bogues, and he takes credit for destroying Muggsy Bogues' career because he stepped back and said, "Go ahead and shoot that, you fucking midget." Dude misses the shot horribly, and apparently his career was never the same after that. We might need a fact check on that. It probably wasn't Muggsy Bogues, but it happened to someone.
So Larry Bird did that to somebody.
Larry Bird
that's
destroyed
the most important part.
Some dude's career.
Yeah, it's an interesting competitive fire that some people have.
Another example of this, Conor O'Hare.
Shout out to Conor O'Hare, your brother,
wherever he may be.
Yeah, probably shooting in the gym right now. You know.
All right, any more with the playoffs? Do we have any more? Do we have any more to say about the NBA playoffs?
You think it goes 7? I think it goes 7.
I'd say so. I'd put a little money on it.
Yeah, but it goes back to Cleveland. If they win, it goes back to San Francisco. That's tough, though. They have to win. They can't overlook this next game.
Well, I think Draymond has to come out and prove himself, you know, because he, in a lot of ways, kind of screwed his teammates over. So he's got to.
What happens if he gets more technicals? Is it just more suspensions?
I think it depends on I think the suspension was because it was a flagrant one.
Right, but I think it's an accumulation of flagrants and technicals, right? So
yeah,
if he gets one more, what does that mean? Probably.
I don't know.
Well, probably not a suspension, but
we
maybe
need our
a fine.
Research team to get back to us on that. Thanks, guys.
Doing the real grunt work.
There's no one else in this room.
Yeah, coming live from the trap house. But yeah.
I think the next thing I wanted to
more current events. Yeah.
Was the Trump Hillary Twitter battle.
Yeah, I was not honestly following it that much. But
my attention was brought. Someone brought my attention to it, and it kind of makes you think: are these the people we want representing our country when they're arguing like middle schoolers over Twitter?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we really have a choice because it's pretty much down between them.
You're right, we don't. But
either way, it's not really good path to go down.
I think part of the good thing about this though is that, you know, everyone's really nervous about a Trump presidency or a Hillary presidency, but at the end of the day, people are going to see how little power our executive branch actually has.
Yeah, because well, especially, I mean, who really knows what happens if Trump gets in office? And same with Hillary, who knows what happens?
It could be fine.
Yeah, it could be fine, or it could be World War III. We don't know. But I mean, it's teetering on the edge, going both ways. But
it looks bad right now. We're not even, you know, election days is you know, still quite a ways. So
yeah.
It's only going to get worse.
It's
It's only going to go downhill.
In the most optimistic sense.
It's only going to get more entertaining.
It's only going to get worse. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know who's going to win. I couldn't, because, you know, if people don't show up to vote that are Bernie supporters, that don't want to vote for Hillary, Trump's going to win.
Not only that, I think my theory is that some Bernie supporters move over to Trump's side because they almost.
I don't think so.
Now hear me out.
Okay.
I think a lot of Bernie supporters hate Hillary more than Trump supporters hate Hillary.
I don't know about that.
Bernie Sanders.
I don't think they're going to move from the far, far, far left all the way to the far, far, far right.
Trump socially is not very far right at all.
Who knows what he is? He hasn't. Nobody knows what his platform is.
He loves the gays. He loves the.
What? I don't think that's true. Even no matter what he says on Twitter or in an interview, I don't think that's true.
I think that brings us to our next sobering subject.
Yeah, I heard he said about the events this past weekend. He was like, I don't know what he said on Twitter, or he put something out like as a statement.
Basically,
what he
was
said
saying
something differently during his speech. Is that correct?
I'm going to pull up his Twitter right now so we get.
So this lovely that we can just.
Actually, I don't know if I have the Twitter app anymore. Trying to pull Twitter up.
I got it.
I mean, basically, he came down hard on radical Islam.
Yeah.
Interesting thing though, I think it was just yesterday or the day before, Hillary finally came out and said radical Islam. I know a lot of people on that side of the aisle were refusing to use that term, and so it's interesting timing anyway that it was, you know, just after the events of this weekend that Hillary chose to use that language. Any thoughts on that?
He's got so much on his Twitter. It's like it's very hard to look at.
I think looking at his Twitter, he's kind of he's a top level troll. Like I'd like to think that it's actually him behind all of this on here. Like he's just up at 3 a.m.
I mean,
posting memes and stuff.
I'm sure it is. It seems like he writes like it's him. I don't think there's some media person that like he goes through, because, you know, if he had like a Twitter correspondent that he like was like, is this tweet okay? And 9 times out of 10, a regular person might be like, you might want to rethink that one.
It seems too stream of consciousness to be. Yeah. It's kind of just like he has he's in the shower, has an idea.
Yeah.
Reaches out, grabs his life proof case.
Yeah.
You know.
You think he has an iPhone? I don't think so. I think it's more like
he's more of an Android guy.
Yeah, he's Samsung 7 S7.
I built this myself kind of thing.
So he's mad at Hillary for not using the term radical Islam, I guess.
Well, he kept bringing it up, and for months. I mean, this started months ago. Finally, she caved, I guess, and used it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's you can't deny that it's like radical Islam isn't a thing.
To me, Islam is is a religion that's stuck in the past and is not compatible with
I wouldn't say that as
modern
a whole.
times.
That's a generalization. You could say that for any religion.
Yeah, but there's not, for example, Catholicism, there's not a segment of Catholics going around killing people in the name of their God.
That's true.
Okay, then Jewish people.
No, I would say that there's different forms of radicalism. Like there's radical Islam where they interpret their Quran or their word of God to mean that they should go kill people, right?
Yeah, I just think.
But there's also forms of radical Christianity, Catholicism, Judaism, Hinduism, where they're all they interpret their scripture as saying that their God is the only God, their way is the only way, and that's how you get Mormons at your front door, right? That's a form, like in a way, that's a form of radicalism. They've like gone to certain lengths so they can force their religion on other people in a way.
I really feel like when Mormons are coming to your front door, they're looking for an intelligent conversation. They're not trying to.
I don't think so.
They're not trying to stab you in the throat.
Well, right. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're trying to kill you. I'm saying they're trying to politely push their beliefs on you in a way.
I don't disagree with that. We should all, I guess, should we all be left alone then to do whatever we want?
Yeah.
That's America.
Is it?
That's what it should be.
Is that why he wants to deport everybody? I don't know if that's America. That's what America, I guess, should be, but in practice, I'm not so sure.
Okay, well, this kind of ties into, I think, Orlando in some ways, because the thing that annoys me the most about the coverage of Orlando is people instantly trying to push their agendas. So you've got some people saying this is about gun control. You've got other people saying this is about radical Islam.
Yeah.
To me, the only thing we need to hear about in the hours, days, weeks following a tragedy like this is, a group of Americans were just massacred. We need to come together as a country and figure this out. And don't make it about guns, because it's not about guns, in my opinion. Don't make it about religion, because it's not about religion. That's part of a larger issue.
Yeah. At the base of everything, it's just about killing, mindless killing.
Yeah.
I agree. But, there's a lot of things like that's all wrong with it. There's like the gun control aspect. There's the radical Islam aspect. There's all these different sort of like avenues that led up to this in a way. And, there's no denying that there's like a multitude of like reasons why it happened. But yeah, it's unfortunate that like people use this as like a platform to like for their own personal beliefs.
Yeah, their own beliefs, their own political aspirations, whatever the case may be, and that's.
It's very hard for people to look at it objectively and be like, okay, why did this happen?
Everyone sees the world through their own lens. I agree with that. But I think, got to push people to look for solutions.
Yeah.
It's very easy to go around and say what's wrong with things.
And point fingers, yeah. It's much easier to do that. And that's what happens. It's what happened in San Bernardino, any other terrorist attack like this. But this was like the second biggest mass killing in American history or something.
I keep seeing things on Facebook like, there was, I think, 300 African Americans who were trying to get their right to vote, and they were shot, but it wasn't covered in the media at the time.
Yeah, that's true.
So
who knows?
It's hard to say what the biggest mass shooting is, but look at Virginia Tech.
That was 27 or something. People killed.
Yeah, and that
more injured.
Again, fact check, but we'll have to. I think every loss of life is a tragedy.
Yeah.
But to me, the best response to a tragedy in the United States has been 9/11. I really feel like there was less of a push, of people's ideas and more of just healing as a country.
Yeah, but I mean, if you go back and look at YouTube videos of like protests,
True.
There was a lot of the same thing that's going on right now. Definitely not to the same extent that it is now. Like where like they're talking about, oh, it was radical Islam, or like we got to go to war now or something. But I think that I'm pretty sure I've seen YouTube videos of like people rioting in the street.
I believe it, but
saying like, oh, it was their fault. Like this, or like this is a conspiracy or whatever. You know.
I mean, we could do a whole podcast on conspiracy theories. We might
one day. One day. We need to get prepared for that one.
The most poignant image I think for me in the after 9/11 was Bush, you know, standing on the rubble talking to the firefighters there and the first responders. You know, whether or not you agree with what he did as president, you know, I think he was right to go there and be with those most heavily affected. And that's a good example of how to respond, how a leader should be responding, I think.
Taking shots right now?
I'm not taking shots at anybody.
I think Obama went to Orlando, if that's what you're jabbing at.
No, I'm saying that was a good response. I don't, you know.
Okay. I was just making sure.
Instead of, okay.
I'm pretty sure he went to Orlando.
Much love for all our presidents.
Okay, just want to clear the water on that one.
Especially George Washington.
Yeah.
One of the fathers of our country. Where was I going with that? Completely lost my train of thought.
That's all right. But
how long?
Oh, I don't know. I think we're at like maybe like 20 minutes. But you know what? What they just released today is that they found out the guy who did the shooting was actually like a closet homosexual. Did you read that?
Yeah, no. Apparently he had like Grindr or whatever,
yeah,
like, gay
dating apps. He like went to the club several times a month for the past couple of years. He asked like dudes out on dates apparently.
So, you know, maybe this is a response to his own.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You know, at the beginning, like, because when it first came out, they were talking about how his dad said that like he couldn't stand the sight of like two dudes kissing or whatever, and like he thinks like he thought all homosexuals like should die or something. And I was like, you know, like in your head you're like, the only person that like really thinks that way are people that are actually gay. Or they just have some sort of self-hatred.
Well, there's,
you know?
I think in a lot of religious backgrounds, you know, hate to say Islam, but Islam,
yeah.
We're not afraid of any topics here in the
in the basement,
in the room here. Islam, you know, Catholicism, I can speak from experience there.
Yeah.
Being gay is like it's a crime against, you know, humanity.
Yeah.
Or at least for Catholicism, practicing homosexuality, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm sure part of it is intense shame and being told your whole life that being gay is one of the worst things you can do.
Yeah.
Might have contributed to that.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what comes out in the next week or so.
Well, it's amazing how public perception of stories change over time. Like, I don't know if any of you saw the Duke 30 for 30 about the lacrosse team. You know, my mom was. I remember my mom saying how horrible those players were, and you know how they deserved everything they would get. You know, and then pretty much the whole country was crying out for their
heads to be chopped off. Yeah.
So.
And then it turned out like.
Total lie. Just she was.
Yeah.
You know.
Which is crazy.
The only thing that was true about it pretty much was that she was there at the party.
Yeah. And I mean, I never saw that 30 for 30, but I know, like, not to be hyperbolic in this statement, but that their lives were basically ruined.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if they have like what they're doing, but
no,
you know, their reputations are destroyed. Even though it's not even true, but
even still, like some people to this day, when you bring up Duke lacrosse, they'll say, "Oh, a bunch of rapists."
Yeah. just because that stigma was just attached.
Yeah.
And it's just there now. It's just like, who cares if it's false, true, not true, whatever. It's just there now, and they can't ever get rid of that for the rest of their lives.
And that's a shame. That being said, this kid on the Stanford swimming team.
Yeah.
That's a kid who actually committed the crime, deserves to be called a rapist.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult. I think it's difficult for the way the media covers this stuff to be absolutely sure before they do it, because part of the media is in competition and they're trying to be the one to break the story.
I mean, even closer to home is the UVA one 2 years ago or a year ago.
Yeah. She lied about the entire story.
And then Rolling Stone even printed a retraction.
Yeah.
It was like, it was, the entire story was not completely true, and we didn't interview enough people, I guess. And
I mean, students were rioting. Matter. I mean, we had a first-hand witness, someone who was a part of the protests outside of the fraternity house. They saw people throwing rocks through the windows. So, that's it's a shame the way that story broke as well. So which kind of brings me to an opinion of mine.
Let's hear it.
See if you agree or not. Obviously, rape is a horrible crime. Rapists deserve to be punished. Should a woman who falsely accuses a man of rape receive a similar punishment in the terms of jail time? Because when you think about it, in a lot of ways, you get accused of a rape, your life in a lot of ways is over.
Mm-hmm.
It's likely that the judge is going to take the woman's side. The jury's going to take the woman's side.
Well, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be a woman. It could
be anyone.
It could be a dude.
Sure.
It could be. It just whoever is claiming to be the victim.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Sorry. So the.
Gotta be PC about this.
We're trying keeping it where it should be. Shouldn't that person who's basically attempted to slander this person, is it fair? Is it it kind of sounds almost like Hammurabi, eye for an eye.
Yeah.
But should they receive that same punishment, if not worse?
Yeah, that's hard to say. I don't know if it should be worse. I wouldn't say that.
I'm okay. I want at least the same punishment. That's how
I mean, I could understand why it would be why it could be the same punishment, because you're like deliberately trying to ruin someone's life in a way. But it's hard to say. I mean, it's more of like a case by case basis. But I mean, I would like in the Duke lacrosse or the UVA case.
Mm-hmm.
They were accused of something they didn't do, apparently. Or, there's no evidence to prove that they did it. And the victim, or the accuser, gets off scot-free, and for nothing. And, yeah, it's hard to say.
I think the one plus side that came out of the Duke story was that I don't remember if it was like the district attorney or the prosecutor. Someone basically had it out for the Duke lacrosse players. Someone in the judicial system had it out for them, and he ended up losing his job because it was just obvious that he was not impartial.
Yeah.
So maybe one of the few positives to come from that story is that a corrupt member of the judicial system lost his job.
Yeah. So it's not surprising at all that there's somebody corrupt in the judicial system.
Or in a government position in general.
Yeah, or any position of power that somebody's corrupt. That's not a surprise at all. But I'm sure that if you look through all of U.S. history in the judicial system, like, you'll see wrongful accusations, and then the accuser accuses somebody of whatever. It doesn't have to be rape, anything, and the defendant gets sent to jail. you know. Think of like, I mean, you've seen Making a Murderer, right? Well, have you heard the case? Like, you know what like the gist is about?
Yeah.
So, I mean, this guy, he was like accused of raping a woman who was like the some high person of high power or whatever in Wisconsin.
Right.
And he was accused, basically sent to jail for 18 years, and then they found new evidence and found out, oh, he didn't do it. I'm sure that happens all the time. He's not the only one. Yeah, but it's all because it's very easy to take the victim's side. That's sort of like human emotions taking over in a way.
Yeah, you're not thinking rationally. You're thinking like, you know, oh, this person, you know, is injured because they committed this this person committed this horrible crime against them. Yeah. So your first instinct is to, you know, run to their side. Run to the person who's lying on the ground bloody. Yeah. So to speak.
Even though they
figuratively.
Even though they might have stabbed themselves, you know.
Exactly.
But because I feel like humans might do that. It's part of human nature to do that, because if you don't take their side and, you know, you go with a defendant and you turn out to be wrong, that's even worse than...
And generally the accuser is the weaker person, the person you would want to help more. Yeah. Like, you know, going back to the Duke example. Yeah. You know, it's this poor, I don't know if she was a single mother, but she was working as a stripper essentially. Yeah.
Exotic dancer, as they said on ESPN.
Excuse me, exotic dancer. You know, she's very easy. It's very easy to feel sympathy for her. You know, when she's standing there, teary-eyed, looking at these, preppy lacrosse players that go to a school that most of America can't afford to go to, frankly. Yeah. You know, it's very easy to take her side.
Yeah. They're already seen as evil in a way, so you might as well just it's very easy to accuse them. Yeah. It's unfortunate that our judicial system works like that.
Corrupt, one might even say.
Corrupt. Everybody's corrupt.
All right. I'm feeling a subject change here. I think we've
exhausted the depressing.
A little heavy, as they say.
Yeah. Should we switch to working out?
Yeah.
Michael's a bit of a workout fiend.
Let's say I've had the opportunity in my life to do plenty of research and speak to some people and
dabble in the bodybuilding.com, taking Max XXX horse dick trainer, 2,400 calories a day.
Don't look at our ingredient list kind of thing.
50 grams of protein per scoop. Yeah.
Why don't you let's talk about some bro science, so to speak, some things that...
Some tips.
I was going to say, no, some myths in the fitness world that people believe to be true, but that are total horse shit.
Yeah. You want us to start us off on this?
Absolutely. So, let's see here. I think one of the best ones is, you know, like cardio kills gains sort of thing. Like, I'm trying to get big, so, you know, I can't even walk up this flight of stairs. I better take the elevator.
Yeah.
If you want to get big, the only thing to worry about if you want to get big is to eat. You got to eat a ton. Yeah. You got to eat way more than you think you do, and you got to keep your protein and carbs about the same. Yeah. You need some fats in there as well.
Healthy fats.
The main thing is to know your body, know how much calories, you know, how many calories you're burning, and just eat more than you're burning, you know. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's, you know, you always see those guys in the gym that can lift a lot of weight but get winded walking back out to their car from the gym.
Yeah.
So.
What's the point? Like, if the whole point is to be in shape, why can you not, like, what if, like, somebody was trying to stab you in the back and you can't outrun them? You're screwed now. Like, all the bench pressing 405 pounds is going to help you if you can't run away.
Yeah. So.
And if you can't reach your fucking arms around their back, like, how are you gonna like fight him?
Yeah, I think actually in my own fitness
endeavors,
I've actually started to stretch a little more because
I'm thinking about starting yoga.
Yeah, like a little hot yoga.
Maybe not hot. I'm not ready for that.
Okay,
but I do feel like I need some stretching in, because it's very important.
If any of you listeners out there have a very simple beginner's yoga routine, send that our way.
Yeah, we definitely need it. We're getting a little stiff over here. But yeah, I think yoga's important. Stressing's important, because your flexibility goes down dramatically before anything else, I think.
You want to be a well-rounded athlete, I think.
Yeah. Keep cardio up. Doesn't have to be like 2 hours every day or anything. But I think people overlook cardio too much, because that's definitely probably the hardest form of exercise.
It's not glamorous. It hurts. It sucks. You can barely breathe.
But it's so mentally, it not only like trains your body, to like you're in endurance. I feel like it trains your mindset, your tenacity, and
it's about
like,
discipline.
To like be like, I could like, I'll do 10 minutes, but like I'm not doing any more than that. But like fucking try and do 20 minutes and like struggle through it.
Well, there's people that only say they only do 10 minutes, or they don't do cardio because they don't have time or whatever. They're just not disciplined. Yeah, you have time. You were a lazy ass. You hit snooze 3 times before you got out of bed this morning, and now I gotta cut my workout short today. No, you just have to get out of bed, you fat ass.
Yeah, it's all about discipline.
Yeah.
But I think that's what like yoga.
It's part of what it instills,
in endurance training. Doesn't even have to be running, but like swimming. I feel like swimming's fun as fuck. I used to swim when I was a kid. Swimming.
Swimming is not fun.
I mean, like, if it's leisurely.
Sure. Okay,
but, I mean, like, think about, isn't that like the most like amount of calories or something you can burn in an exercise?
Swimming is incredibly efficient.
It's total body.
It's an efficient way to burn the most calories.
Yeah.
It is low impact. The only thing that eventually will go is your shoulders.
Yeah. But that's if you're using the wrong form too.
True.
If you're using like more of your legs, more of your upper arms.
Yeah, and part of it too is I think part of everyone's fitness routine has to be kind of preventative medicine, so to speak. There's some movements you can do in the weight room to help keep your shoulders healthy. Again, this comes back to flexibility, but if you're flexible, then you're less likely to damage tendons and eventually joints. So
speaking of which, we might have to head to the gym. Wrap it up.
Get a little.
I mean, it's been over half an hour, I think. Got some good stuff in there.
Got some good stuff. Got some just okay stuff. There's probably some incorrect.
I think the meat of it's in the middle. That's some good stuff we had there.
Apologies for any.
If we offended anybody.
Actually, no. We don't really care about it if we offend you or not. Frankly.
Yeah. If you got offended by what we say, you need to like.
Good.
Fucking do some pull-ups or something, because you're a bitch. But anyways, that's just my 2 cents. We're gonna keep doing this.
Yeah, you'll hear more from us.
Hear more from us. We want to try and do like daily quotes. I think we should try and do that. 5-minute podcasts. So
and that might just be, maybe one day it'll be Daniel, one day it will be me.
Yeah.
We'll just alternate, just a little daily motivation for you.
Daily motivation.
That's right. Maybe we'll tell you a little bit about what our workout's going to look like that day.
Yeah.
And
I like it.
Just keep you inspired.
Keep us inspired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And God bless America.
God bless America. And no place else.